What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, iOS 26.4 Beta 3 has now been out for a couple of days, and it's time to give you our feedback on performance and battery life and real issues that people are reporting online. So let's jump right into it. If you missed that first look video, jumping into settings, general, and about, iOS 26.4 Beta 3 has a build number of 23E5223F. This is actually going the wrong direction from what Beta 2 had. We had an E build, now we are on to an F build, so we're moving the wrong way in the alphabet, which signifies we definitely probably will have a few more betas to go until the RC comes out. Now, speaking of, if you're looking at a timeline, we are going to jump around a little bit here, and let's go ahead and talk about when we can expect this next beta as well. Since this did come out on the 2nd, we can anticipate Beta 4 coming out next week on the 9th, or at least the week of the 9th. That will give us some time to give feedback as devs and then see what else Apple has cooking. Plus, I believe there still will be an update dropping before all the new release products that Apple's been announcing today do come out. It's already been shown online in the actual help articles that 26.3.1 will be the next release. That will be stable for the public, so I believe we will see 2 releases next week, one for a beta and one for the general public. Now, all that aside, let's talk about battery life, since obviously this is the thing that a lot of people are going to be worried about going into a beta. And I have to say, hands down, this is much better than Beta 2 was, so let's talk about it. As you can see, our main heavy day where we didn't actually charge at all, we used a ton of battery. I really tried to put this to the test. And from off the charger at before 7 a.m. and back on the charger around 11:30, we had 9.5 hours of screen active time and 10.5 hours of screen idle time. That was pretty good. And as you can see, I pushed it using social media apps, gaming, and all of that. And I have to say it held out pretty well until the battery got to about 29%, and then that adaptive power saving mode did kick in. You can also see the home and lock screen was still pulling significant drain here, using 9% for an hour and 47 minutes, which is definitely higher than it even was on Beta 2, but it somehow didn't impact this as much as typically it has in the past. So we'll take that. And then yesterday also, yet again, going the whole day until we hit the actual drop in battery to where we needed to plug it in. We had 7 hours and 53 minutes of screen active and 11.5 hours almost of screen idle. So again, not bad, but you can see again the typical draws from battery, including again AOD at 5% now. So not crazy by any means, but definitely still a power-hungry beta that is still being optimized. Not surprising nonetheless, but I just wanted to let you know. And then if you have a new device like the 17 Pro Max, we do have 144 cycle counts, but our max capacity is still at 100%, and that is going to give you a good indication of what to expect here if you have a full maximum capacity iPhone still. There are people that were online reporting that some battery drain was so bad on Beta 3 that they lost 20% in less than an hour and even less than 30 minutes, I believe. There's always going to be specific outliers here, so don't let that distract you from downloading this if it is something you want to do and are already on the betas, specifically Beta 2. This is a worthy jump, and that is due to not only battery, but performance alone. This has felt so much smoother than any beta recently has. I will also say I did have an issue with the new modem firmware. So we took a big jump here. We're at 1.55.03. That came up from 1.54.03 in Beta 2. And I have to say that is one issue I really have been having. My cellular performance only on the T-Mobile network on my dual SIM here is cutting in and out. There's been times throughout the days where I will lose all bars, but Mint will still have the bars. And for those of you that don't know, Mint uses T-Mobile towers, so there should be no reason one shows service over the other. So it is just something to keep in mind there. Again, I'll monitor it on our Sunday recap video again. We'll talk a little more about it, but just something I wanted you guys to be aware of. As far as actually navigating the OS, jumping around, kind of looking at articles, Again, it has not felt this snappy in a while. iOS kind of felt like it was kind of glitchy and buggy, but everything from the ProMotion display to opening different apps to playing games has actually been really, really good. It's been a pleasure to use for the first time in a while. I will say memory management or RAM management here has been hit and miss. I always like to talk about Clash of Clans and playing it, so I'm going to open it and we're going to jump around some other apps to take a look at, but let's just do this really quick. Okay, let's get out of it. Let's go into Tinseltown. Okay, now let's go into Freeform. Just jump around a little bit. Then let's go ahead and go into, let's do Stocks app one more time. Go back into settings. Okay. And now if we go back to Clash, you can see it actually held in memory pretty good for the first time in a while. So if you are a game player, this should be encouraging for you guys to see. So take that for what you'd like. I have continued to see one little lag and glitch here, as you can see on the control panel, when it first comes down, and then when you scroll up to the third page here, there's usually a slight hesitation, and that doesn't even look too terrible right now, though, on that example. I will say also that one bug that was there when you go to edit a home screen or a lock screen or anything you want to do here to add widgets or edit the wallpapers, there was an issue and a glitch where the done and edit buttons would overlap with your cellular connectivity or wireless connectivity as a whole. That is gone now, as you can see, which is definitely good to see as well. One other thing that I have to say has continued to be good since our other example is the keyboard. Typing away is actually pretty good now. So hey, what's going on, everyone? You can see that worked good. From a typing standpoint, the predictive text line didn't disappear. How are you doing today? Gave actual accurate examples of what you might want. And then for the speech to text, happy Wednesday, everyone. Apple is going to be releasing the MacBook Neo today. So minus Siri being silly and doing ni-yo instead of Neo, that worked pretty well also. So I have to say that has been pretty good. Allegedly, some other concerns that people were pointing out were with accessibility voice container bugs. But again, nothing major. I've seen all positive features and feedback on this beta. So if you are thinking about downloading it, go for it. The next public beta that comes out, I would definitely recommend. If you aren't currently on the betas, if you want to try these new features, do so. We talked about the emoji keyboard though. That is one thing that I was hoping might kick in a background, but you could see actually here, if we go into, let's just do Orca, we still have all these unknowns and mystery box questions because they still don't work. These will be working in beta 4 though. So that's it for this one, guys. Like we said, next week we should get another beta release. Hopefully it'll be good or even better than what we have now in beta 3. Let me know how it's working for you. How's heating been? No issues here in that regard as well. And we will catch you in the next one. Peace.